welcome to the Silver Screen Show, where we review films, talk about films, rant about films.
A lot of ranting today.
A lot of ranting today, because today we have got two fantastic films. Well, I say it a bit sarcastically. One of them is okay. The other way is you need to wait for it. First is a movie called It. It's a supernatural horror film based on a Stephen King book. And the second is also about a book. It's called Death Note. It follows the
segue.
Oh god, it segues into our life about a book based on a Japanese manga. Quite an adaptation. If you know our film reviews, we have been reviewing adaptations of Japanese manga and Japanese anime. None of them have fared very well so far. Let's see what Death Note, this film.
No, you didn't. Why are you lying?
Let's see what Death Note does for us. So, without any further ado, let's get started. We have our usual hosts with us, Elenia and Abu, and myself, Mo. So let's get started with It, shall we?
Yes, It.
Elenia, why don't you open with your
opening statements?
Okay, I guess a bit of background. We've got like a supernatural shape-shifting demon, and most of the time he takes the form of a clown called Pennywise, the dancing clown, and he kidnaps kids every 27 years, I think, is a cycle. And throughout the film you find out a little bit about that cycle, but not too much. Not as much as if anyone's read the book or seen the original miniseries that was made in 1990, I think.
1990s.
So you find out a little bit about that, but the story is centered around the losers, or they've got another name.
I think they're called the losers. They brand themselves a loser gang.
Yeah. There's a gang of kids, and they're all like bullied and stuff. And the clown,
social outcasts.
The clown Pennywise decides to focus on these kids, and one of them, his little brother, is kidnapped by Pennywise, and it's quite a lot about fear. And he uses the fear of the children and shapeshifts into their fears to get them like kind of frozen,
vulnerable, essentially.
And then eats them or makes them float.
Makes them.
That's quite a story. Either eat or float. Which one do you choose?
I don't know.
I think it's an easy choice there.
I don't know, man, but I thought it was pretty creepy and messed up. There was a bit of laughs and things that
a bit too many laughs. I think that's what I didn't like about it.
Yeah,
they tried.
I like the gang themselves, like all of the kids.
So the characters themselves.
The characters themselves are pretty good. For child actors as well, it's not too bad. But there's one kid, Richie, who's just all about your mum jokes and the dick jokes and
every kind of bad joke.
And we're talking about preteen kids.
Yeah, he's like 11 years old. And he just goes on and on and on, and it's just too much.
I just think he was trying too hard to make it into like a comedy kind of atmosphere for no reason. I was like, just focus on the crazy evil
and
clown.
It doesn't fit.
Yeah, I think it had a bit too much to bring that lightheartedness to it, which is why I didn't really enjoy it from my side of it. Because I thought it's making the audience were all laughing every time a joke came up. They're cheering. I'm thinking, this is not the vibe you want for a horror movie.
Right.
Like it
sometimes.
Sometimes, but in this, I think it's kind of making the audience feel a bit less scared because all these jokes it's quite regular. Every time that kid comes up, man.
Yeah, you want some variation.
Yeah.
You want the tense bits to be tense and the uplifting bits to be uplifting. But
this is just throughout the movie, it's just constantly and
it was a bit much. Overall, though, I would say that it is a good horror movie. There's a lot of messed up scenes. There's some pretty scary bits. Personally, I'm not a horror movie person. I sit there and I'm like, I guess that's scary in some way. And like the way he moves is very demonic, like what we're used to.
Pennywise.
The Pennywise. He very kind of exorcist kind of movements, like the contortion and stuff like that. That's quite cool. The shape-shifting bits are really cool. Bill Skarsgård is playing Pennywise in this, and he is fantastic.
That's good to know.
I wasn't scared, but that's just me. I'm not afraid of clowns either, so that doesn't.
If you don't like clowns, this is not your thing.
No.
Or weird, demented portrait women.
I just have a feeling, you know, back in 2016 there was a craze about clowns coming out of nowhere. You know, in America, I think. Sometimes even here as well. I just have a feeling that this was going to come back again. Into like these copycats coming back.
I mean, unless they're drawing people into the drains and the sewer system, it's not exactly the same.
Well,
I think that's what I had. I thought it's intriguing, it's entertaining in the sense like I want to find out what's happening to these kids because they've got a little arc So you find out more about what's happening in the past, who this it is, because it's not really a clown. It's more the embodiment of what they fear. It's more like a paranormal presence in a sense. So
do they explain enough to say it's a demon or such?
no, that's the thing though.
Yeah,
they don't
they
really
don't.
go too much into it because there's a very obvious sequel coming up, and they kind of leave it for that. So I mean, we won't spoil too much, but they say it appears every 27 years. That's
Which
the
follows
thing.
through from the 1990
Yeah,
film.
but then it doesn't really
2017.
explain much, just like why does it do that? But I kind of realized that's going to be explained later on, probably.
I think they've just kind of switched the order from the series because it's in the series. I watched the beginning of it, and it's they start off with 27 years after the events, and the whole miniseries is told using flashbacks. So they've done it a different way in that they've started off with them as kids, and then I'm guessing what they're going to do with chapter 2 is they come back 27 years later to fight him again, and then find out more
That's
about
like the.
Pennywise.
I think that's the sequel's going to be because it's heavily hinted, you know, in the future they
But
do
surely
more
it'll
stuff.
be like a
Yeah.
prequel sequel mix. So they
Yes.
explain where
But
the
I
comes from.
thought that the fact that you had the supernatural thing, you had a bit of tension and suspense in some parts, and then you had a bit of respite and false security, which is what you want.
Barring that one kid who just.
Barring that one kid, you want that dynamic.
Like he's set up in a way you think this kid's gonna die because he's a loudmouth always dies in these films, isn't it? Like, you're just asking to be
it was so annoying.
because you're waiting for that
Did
one
he?
death, aren't you? You're waiting for that one death in every
No
horror
spoilers,
film.
no spoilers.
Nah, but in every horror movie, like there was one guy, like, I just can't wait for you to die in it. Like
Yeah.
this guy, like you're just waiting for him. Like will he or won't he? We don't know, but you really want him. That's my one. Like,
But is there a narrative arc that follows, or is it just the Pennywise catching children, taking them wherever he wants to?
yeah, it's like a weird thing where the sense like the kids are aware of it, but the adults are kind of vague. They're a bit like what's the word?
They're very ignorant
Yeah.
of the whole thing.
Adults.
They just they just
So do
they
the-
just see that
so the
kids
band-
are disappearing.
The band of losers, do they come back to their parents? Like, during the day?
It kind of gets a bit spoilerish.
It gets dark when
Yeah.
you start bringing
Oh,
the parents
right,
in
right.
as well.
But person is very oblivious to it. Like,
Yeah.
like the kids are like, "Yo, we're getting murdered." Like, kids are disappearing. They're like, "Oh, really? Okay, it happens. Maybe
okay.
they fell down somewhere and died. Oh well."
Yeah.
Is
moving
that
on."
explained, or is that just
Well, I mean,
oversight?
you've got Mike, the homeschool kid,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, my grandfather says this place is cursed,"
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, they don't really go into it that much
Right,
more.
right.
I
I
think
suppose that's a good thing then. Sometimes a movie trying to explain too much about its backstory ruins the entire movie itself.
Yeah.
But I think you needed a bit of because the running time's so long. It's like 2 hours 20 or 2 hours. Something like that.
it is a bit.
very
So
long
there was
film,
obviously space there to put some backstory in.
Yeah.
And that kid was way too brave, I think. Like the protagonist kind of guy.
Oh,
Like
Lillis.
he is way too brave for a kid his age. Like he's like, let's go in the sewer and let's.
But the whole thing is like about overcoming your fears and how strong.
But even
friendship
then,
is,
just
and-
because
even-
you're not brave
It's got
enough.
a great message.
Even then, he's like, I'm gonna take down this demonic clown with this spear. I'm like, really? Like everyone's, all the other kids are like,
and
the bolt gun.
The bolt gun, yeah. The kid.
He just felt a bit too like, come on, have some level of like, he's just so driven. He's like
He wants
Rambo.
To, he wants
he's
to
just
find
like
his little brother though, because his little brother
Yeah.
was taken, and he wants to
that's
find
a good
his little
motivation.
brother. And it's a great motivation.
yeah. But I just never felt like there's any doubt in him. Like, there'll be some doubt in the back of his mind, like, what am I doing here? Like, but he's just like, I'm gonna go for this. All our friends like, you're gonna get us killed, man. He doesn't care.
So
He's like, I don't
he's just a kid. He
Yeah.
probably doesn't even
Yeah.
have the planning capability. To
But you
think.
like, have you ever been around kids who literally have no fear? Sometimes
Yeah,
they
they all
just.
know the horror films.
I definitely have.
I've never been in a horror movie, but like sometimes you just see these
Yeah.
kids and you're like, you're literally not scared of anything. And if they get something into their head, they're driven about it. They're gonna
Yeah.
do it. And even a demonic shape-shifting clown isn't gonna get in their way.
No.
But I think it was a bit of a kickback to like old school horror, because old school horror is pretty silly. Like if you
What do
watch
you
the
mean by
original-
old school horror, by the way?
like if you think back of like the original Exorcist, and even things like if you go back in Psycho, there are little silly bits that we laugh at now. So if you're going to make a remake of one of those things, you've got to leave a little bit of that.
Bit of
as well.
cheesiness in
A bit
it.
of cheesiness doesn't hurt.
Right.
Can't be too.
Right.
Like, you're not expecting like proper horror. Like
Because like a lot of horror now is just dark. It's not necessarily scary. It's
Yeah.
just dark.
Too bad.
Whereas this is like screws with you.
And jump horror.
And
That is
too much
jump
jump
scare.
horror.
Jump
Yeah.
scare, right?
There was
there's
like
just
one or
every-
two jumps where I was like,
it's so obvious.
but yeah, like it doesn't overdo it. Like when I saw The
Right.
Conjuring, I thought, no, this is too much.
It does sound like a more. Go on, please.
I was gonna say, I think because I watched Annabelle Creation a couple of weeks ago, I think that's kind of been on
I
my.
can't stop talking about it.
Because I think it's really good. I think that's watching that and then watching this kind of thought it's nowhere near as
So
scary.
how would you compare Annabelle versus this one?
Annabelle's a lot more creepier for sure.
A lot creepier.
A lot creepier. And for this one, I just felt it could have been a lot like the trailer sets it up to be very, very creepy and disturbing. But I think this one's kind of more like just the actual film is more like fun horror.
This one.
Yeah, I think
I was a bit disappointed by it. I was kind of
that's
expecting
what it sounds like.
I was
from
kind of
what
expecting a
you're
full
saying.
horror movie, whereas this was kind of, it became more like half comedy, half horror. I was like, I don't like this, to be
But
honest.
do you think having so many kids together, a bit of comedy is a welcome addition?
It's a comedy just didn't fit the kids though. You get me? It's a kid. It's a
I
kind of
think
comedy.
it's literally,
yeah.
it's just Richie
Yeah.
that overdoes
Alright.
it
Yeah.
with his jokes.
Yeah.
They're just too much.
Yeah, because it's so loud and overbearing, he kind of puts.
Yeah, he's
Dominates
and
the-
it's like
Right.
sometimes it's very misplaced in some of the scenes as well, and you're like they're entering a sewer entrance and he's talking about
Stuff.
I'm not going to talk about that, he's talking about stuff,
Can't be mentioned on camera.
comparing man
Stuff.
breasts and stuff, and it just doesn't really fit the scene at the
Okay.
time. But other than him, and
Yeah.
maybe the length of the film, I
Yeah.
think it was
Yeah.
very good.
Okay, no, that's very good. I mean, the film is directed by Andy Muschietti. I'm afraid I haven't actually heard of
He,
him.
did
he
Mama.
wrote and directed Mama.
Which is another like
Ah, I've actually
Yes,
seen Mama.
so-
It was quite a long time back.
2013. So
Yeah,
it was.
yeah. Oh, that was a good film. I quite enjoyed that. Okay, so it definitely sounds. It definitely. Oh, it is actually a pronoun. So this film is it. Well, it is a good film to watch. It seems.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely worth
Good.
it. But I'll probably say my review will be it's a bit too fun.
a bit too fun.
A bit too fun. I would prefer a lot more horror. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And it sounds like fun, not fun for kids, but fun for more adult jokes.
Yeah, a lot of grown-ups will love the jokes. Stuff
I
like
think
this.
it's just a different kind of horror.
Yeah.
So at the
Right.
moment we're used to dark and creepy. This
Conjuring,
is a bit
all
of,
the same,
this messes with your head a little
Yeah.
bit more,
I mean,
which is what Stephen King does anyway.
yeah. To be honest, just going back to Stephen King, this film is a Stephen King book adaptation.
It's better than his last one. Just say that.
I am going to put this right now. It is so much better
When
than
you say
Dark
last one.
Tower.
Dark Tower.
Dark Tower made me angry.
Yeah, man, that was some
And I can't-
serious.
I thought you were going to mention Carrie because I remember I watched Carrie and I was disappointed
Well,
by
the
that
new
as well.
one.
Yeah,
The one
Hit Girl.
Yeah,
Hit
Chloe
Girl Carrie.
Grace
Chloe
Moretz.
Grace Moretz. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the
that wasn't-
tower? And be like,
Watch Dark Tower.
I
and
wa-
just-
actually
don't.
I went to
No.
watch Dark Tower and something happened and I came out of the theater.
That was fate saving you. Whatever that was.
12% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yes, I don't doubt you.
No, it was bad.
Yeah. So
And then what
in
say
terms of
your recap, brief overview on the movie? What do you
Um,
say?
A good horror.
watch it, don't watch it.
Definitely watch it.
yeah,
Definitely watch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think
That's what it sounded like to me as well.
Yeah.
So I read the reviews too, and it sounded like it was a good film.
Yeah, they're mainly all positive.
You
just-
do definitely know your films about. You definitely know your horror films.
Yeah.
So-
Well, I mean, no. I wouldn't say
well,
that.
at least Abu does.
He knows his horror.
He knows quite a bit.
Yeah, man, The Conjuring 2 happened in Enfield, man, so I gotta know my stuff.
Exactly.
Man. It's my local history.
And
this stuff happened. It's real.
This year has been a year of horror films as well. So many horror films coming out. So yeah, we've had our fair
One
share
thing
of.
before we move on to next film, the trailer for Jigsaw. I'm so disappointed by it.
Oh no, you know
I'm
what?
going off on a tangent here, but saying
Yeah, I
horror.
saw it. I saw it today.
Why the
and
jokes? There's one-liners. I'm
I
not. Why the
haven't- I
one-liners?
haven't
You know what?
seen it.
Marvel has ruined it.
Marvel has ruined-
When you say Jigsaw, you mean
It's
another Saw movie.
Yeah, it's another song.
They should have stopped
God.
at 3.
Yeah, they sort of stop at 1.
they stopped at one.
They should.
Really, they
they
should have.
like 1 would have been great. 3 was
So
probably
this
the
is what
line.
number?
I don't know what this is.
This is number 8.
7?
Number 8. Yeah, I think I've definitely
Six,
know there is a Saw 7.
There's a one-liner in the movie. Like, why is a one-liner in a Saw film? Like, I don't. Like I said, we were saying this before camera.
Yeah.
Marvel have kind of made everyone put jokes and stuff.
Yeah,
now.
the injection of comedy into everything
Yeah.
because it worked for Marvel.
Not just
it must
comedy,
work for us.
franchise as well. It already has a second part coming out.
Yeah, everyone
So-
wants a universe. Everyone wants a
franchise.
Then we'll
Yeah.
fight each other in this universe. So, It Guy versus the Doc, Idris Elba, man. I want to see that
alright,
fight.
Yeah.
But that's like a Jigsaw
Yeah.
kind of divert because I saw the trailer yesterday before the
Yeah,
movie, and
yeah.
I thought,
I need to take a look at the trailer. Anyway, it sounds like a pretty good film to watch.
Yeah.
It's done pretty well in terms of commercial, if you're interested. It was made on a 35 million budget.
thank you,
Marvel
Mr. Accountant.
That's actually not bad
Yeah,
considering
and-
the whole scene in the sewer and everything.
Yeah, and it's there's a lot of like CGI animation in it as well, right?
Yeah, I mean that woman with the face.
Yeah.
That thing was scarier than the clown.
The contortions.
Yeah, the contortion, the shape shifting and
Yeah.
everything.
And it's already made more than double its budget, so
Yeah,
it's a
it's
successful
good.
film. Yeah,
That's
it's a
good.
successful film. It's always good to see a film that's quality, that's also done well.
And especially because if it makes its budget and then some, you'll get the second part of the story, and then it will kind of round it off, hopefully.
Exactly. Yeah.
Speaking of quality movies.
Speaking of quality movies, that takes us to
talk about quality movies.
That takes us to our second film.
How long do we have for this? Before
we have the rest of the night, and we still won't be able to finish talking about it.